What's up guys, Changswell here, and today I'm back with another ranked gameplay for you guys. This is actually a dual ranked gameplay alongside my friend IG Nibilmski. And yeah, so this is gonna be pretty interesting because it is not actually a 5 stack, it's a dual rank gameplay. And typically when you play solo or duo, there's a lot of unpredictability because you don't know how things will turn out. But yes, let's go right into the gameplay. We have one tank on our team with Tigreal. I'm the only fighter Yu Zhong playing on the side lane for experience lane. We have a Chang'e going to the gold lane, as well as a mage support. Valir in the mid, mage Chang'e at the gold lane earlier, as I mentioned, and we have a marksman Claude. Now going against in my lane is actually this bait is fire, and starting off I'm just gonna try and poke him out, use my passive, and try to give him not much room to farm. He's already popped his regeneration, so it's always good. And I'm once again looking for opportunity. I always try and stack my passive as much as possible, but get the last hit. Now Bane is really out of position. I'm gonna chase him right now. I'm gonna try and get my last stack. It's really important to get the last hit. Everything else doesn't really matter after it. Anyways, I was saying the enemy team has one tank Atlas. They have fighter Bane, a support Vela, and late game scaling mage Sicilian, as well as a Grange, marksman Granger. So you can see I dove the tower a little bit, but all I wanted to do is actually to get him really low by actually stacking my passive. So it's really important not really to get kills, but you do stack passive, and when you do that you will get a huge advantage out because you'll be able to, this is basically where you out trade other people. If any in other cases it will definitely not work. And being once again out of position, now I'm not rushing to go in. Obviously you can see slowing them with the second skill first is very crucial. This you do not want things to happen. And you can see Bane once again takes a lot of damage. He is almost dead at this point, but he is not dead. So I just let the minion die on this side. So actually Bane will lose a little bit of gold here. As you can see, I'm already ahead on farm after killing this minion, and he has to go and recall. So I will immediately shove this lane in and do my own thing. So earlier when you saw in the loading screen, I'm actually using Fire Emblem Undying Will, and definitely, you know, it's definitely possible. And this is one of those earlier builds that I started off with. Obviously right at the beginning everyone used Assassin Emblem and Killing Spree because he was so strong in terms of passive regen as well as damage. But after that he got nerfed so many times now. Currently there's only two viable options. One way is to build this way, I'll build more tanky basically, and use a Fire Emblem Undying Will. So I saw Bane use all his skills here, so that means he is actually vulnerable. I go forward and stack my passive and punish him for that. And I do want to zone him away because he does want to get experience, and I think I managed to do that. You can see I'm already one level ahead, and the team is fighting at the turtle right here, so we're gonna try and go in. Can I get somebody out? Going in using Petrifying, and I get first blood onto the referral. And this is basically oh, huge ultimate by the Tigreal. Unfortunately not close enough, but eventually our team does get it in there, and it's a great start for us, especially on all our lanes which are actually slightly in the lead here. So as I mentioned, the reason why I pick Petrify is because when you use Spyro Yu Zhong, sometimes you may use this opportunity to try and gank their core. And as we all know, Granger is really strong with the core here, and you can see Bane trying to find me and he's on very low. And this is the power of Fire Emblem and Dying Will, and I do get a kill eventually. So this is really strong and really good for me as well. Obviously Bane was under level and under farm compared to me, but he saw my low HP, and Undying Will is really key because it helps in terms of your magic resist and armor that I already have intrinsically in the emblem, and after that it gives me more damage when I'm lower, which is typically where Yu Zhong wants to fight, which is around 50% or lower amount of HP for the most part. So you can see I already got my first item right here, Brute Force Breastplate, which is obviously really good. Bane's coming right around. I do want to look for opportunity to get him again, and I do hit him immediately. So you don't want to take too much, spend too much time under the tower if possible. Obviously earlier there was a little bit of a mistake there, and I did take 2 tower shots. And see, I'm going to go right ahead for this Granger right here and see if we're able to get him or not. Oh, huge ultimate by that Tigreal, and we do manage to get him. Use my first skill also, but I am unable to get the kill, which is not too great. I wasn't able, like, let fell. I was 1 or 2 autos away. It's kind of unfortunate, but we were gonna back out at this point, and you can see now actually after Blue Sword's breastplate, I'm not actually going for Bloodless X in this case. I'm actually going for something different here, and I'm going for Rose Gold. I'm sorry, uh, Sea Halberd, which is basically an anti-regen item, mainly going for Daily Blade first. And the reason for that is because Bane has a lot of regen in terms of his second skill, which heals even more based on his missing HP. So laning against him, this one will just put the nail in the coffin since I'm already ahead in terms of farm. Once again, our team is going for the turtle. I am looking for a chance to help out, but obviously my ultimate is not ready. So because Bane just went back earlier after sending him back, I decided to go and cut the lane forward. And I know that he will be joining the turtle. So I will not be at this turtle fight over here, and that's okay because Bane is going to join as well. I saw him on the map. He's appearing alongside those minions, and I'm going to take down this first tower. And obviously, it doesn't matter whether we get a turtle or not. If we do get a tower first, this is actually a huge deal because in Mobile Legends, a turtle just gives you gold, but a tower affects the whole map. So once again, I'm gonna force out this tower, forcing someone to defend. So Granger coming around the side. I do manage to dodge the large one, and Granger does not get enough of his. He does not aim his skills properly, and he is unable to go in. Once again, I saw a team looking to engage onto this Grafana here. This might be a bit of overkill, but I was just in case some other team members may following up, as we all know that there's a lot of engaging possible, especially since they have Atlas and their whole team could basically move there in the wind. So after this, we did manage to get a kill earlier, so we're gonna force down this tower as much as possible, and they're not able to contest, and we do get mid inhibitor tier 1 tower as well. So this is really good, looking good for us in terms of objectives, in terms of gold. We are always ahead, and this might be a bit risky, so I'm just looking for opportunity. Tigreal does go in, and I'm going to go in as well, but it might not be too great, unfortunately, and I will get killed at that point because Tigreal actually went in, but too much damage coming out, and it was only a Rafaela. So definitely a mistake on my part. I would definitely should have gone in only if there was a direct pickoff onto the Granger, especially since I was kind of low on health, and you can see the enemy team desperately trying to chase. Tigreal actually tried to save our team, basically, save Valir, and this is really, really dangerous, but Valir also helped out, and the stun coming out from the passive, and both of them will be able to escape and recall back safely. So I'm coming back just in time. I'm gonna hold this lane. If any of them stay any further, I'll go in and kill them, but sensibly they actually take a step back. Chang'e is very, very out of position right there, and he's going to get caught out. I'm not going to be able to help at this point. He's already oh, actually he does not get caught out, which is very interesting. But yes, those are very, very difficult or very dangerous situations, because now the goal lead wise is definitely much smaller than earlier, and I do get my Sea Halberd at this point. So my next item here is actually my typical item, which is Bloodless X, which is normally would have been my second item. And I saw earlier Sicilian was defending, so I didn't want to contest him, it wasn't much of a thing. Granger does get a turtle, but I'm just gonna join the team for as much as possible, as I knew that they just went for it. And ideally I want to go for the Granger, and I'll try my best, but unfortunately they managed to hit the right stuff. And you can see Granger just escaped a little bit, and Claude just whacked the tower. It's kind of sad actually, we could have gotten him, but a little bit of misclick on my end because I wanted to hit him, but I didn't manage to do so. I did not manage to heal up here fast enough, and Sicilian does get a kill as well. So this is yet another mistake. I was trying to stack for no reason actually, no good reason, so I could have immediately backed out there. So it's not too great on that death. But I've been stunning on this Bane right here, but you can see the huge amount of damage, that burst damage that Bane possesses, and he does manage to escape with a slither of health and heal back up with his second skill. So once again, the goal difference is actually really, really small now. Claw is actually in a very dangerous spot, but he does get the buff, which is great. He took a lot of damage in the process, but he did manage to get alive. So definitely not recommended, but he somehow managed to escape, so that's always great. As for myself, Sicilian is actually pushing out on the top lane, so I'm gonna look and see what he's gonna do, if he's gonna continue. And when I saw that Noah was there, probably he would have gone back and now looking at replay, he actually did go back as well, which is always great. So I managed to hold off my tower. So always remember, as a side laner, the main job is to hold your lane. Obviously, definitely help out team fights if possible and if it's worthwhile. But otherwise, if it's totally possible for you to take a tower or take some objectives like pushing first tier tower, it'll definitely be a great service, even if you don't join the total fight. Obviously, now we see Atlas running by on the side. I decided to stack some since I'm here. Why not, right? I did try to jump out, so I'm gonna use my ultimate right now. Cloud coming right in. I'm actually quite low at this point, but I'm just gonna try and force the immortality up on the Atlas, and I do get a kill onto Rafaela here, and I do get a stack on the Granger, and that's really, really important. So we do get a kill on Granger. Unfortunately, I'm dead, and Vayne is in our backline right now, and not looking too good. Once again, Chang'e is the terrible spot, but Chang'e does manage to get out alive, fortunately, and Cloud comes in right at a nice time, and we have double kill by the Valir. So this is okay. I think that fight was decent enough. I took a lot of risk over there, but personally, as you must always remember, as a side laner, it's not too bad if you die, because you're not really the main portion of the team. You don't have to be alive all the time. All you need to do is to jump onto their enemy core, and I did manage to do that. Getting onto the Granger was definitely a big deal, and once I got that, even though I died afterwards, our team was safe from their core, and we were able to win that fight onwards and get a lot. Obviously, unfortunately, I was unable to actually defend the top tower because I was dead, but that's a small thing compared to the Lord and the huge advantage we gained from that fight early on. So you can see I already have my Bloodlust Axe from some time ago, and my next item will be actually Blade of Despair. So sometimes you might be thinking, why am I building more damage on this? And the reason for that is, well, you know, actually I can. Another alternative will definitely be to build Queen's Wings, but you can see that if you play very, very safe, there is typically not much of a reason for you to be in trouble. Plus, I do always like to go in without my ultimate with this build and with this setup, because I have Petrify, so it's a huge engage coming out. I do manage to jump out just in time, but our Lord actually does take down the bottom tower, which is always good. But the waves, they weren't really in sync too much, so we were unable to push everything in, which is a little bit of a shame. But meanwhile, our team is going to... There's a little bit of distraction on enemy team as they're clearing out waves. So I'm going to try and push this wave. Obviously, not a great idea. Valir also getting stunned, but Atlas is not going to initiate with the engage here, which is always great. Chang'e is actually pushing down the mid, and very, very nicely. So we do manage to get the mid into the tower, and in the process, the top tier 2 tower as well. Now there's only one inhibitor tower left on the enemy team, which is always good, and we're gonna look for opportunity to push that even further. Now you can see on the enemy team, they do have a lot of high ground. They have Sicilian as well as Bane, so they actually clear out the wave fast, and obviously Granger has a lot of damage, so he can burst down the wave even if it's enhanced. So at this point, we are thinking it's either we wait for the next key objective to put forward, or we can try and force it out right now. And this is what I'm trying to do right now, because everyone is forced in their base. As you can see, we managed to force all the waves in, and this will be the last straw. We do manage to get the last wave, last inhibitor tower, which is always good. And I do complete my Blade of Despair, and the next item going in will be Immortality. Or actually, I'm thinking of Athena Shield actually, because of Sicilian, but none of them are too big of a concern. As you can see, I always start with tough boots. Doesn't really matter sometimes what your laning opponent is, because as long as you can survive against it, you might be better off building against just like, you know, some crowd control resistance basically. Tigreal just completely fluffed out the ultimate, and Claw just ulted in for no reason, and Valir is going to get shut down by the Ranger. So it's definitely not a good idea, and I did take a lot of hope, but I do land the Petrify, and I do get a kill on the Ranger, and that's, again, is all I needed. Obviously, that was a little bit debatable, because not a good fight. We already lost 2 members, but at that point I was able to get the Granger as well. He already used his dash, and this is where Petrify is really strong on Yu Zhong, especially if you want to dive a core hero, because the core hero will always take retribution, because the core hero currently in the meta will always do jungle. and because of that, you are able to catch people off if this petrify, and this can be a game changer because Yu Zhong's very biggest strength actually, besides his passive, is his knockout on his third skill, which is a great initiation tool, is also a great disrupting tool, and a great chain CC if you want to follow up to your team. So obviously we did manage a lot of hit back and forth. It's not really that great obviously, but in a public game like this, when you're playing duel with Valir, my friend there, that's about as much as you can ask from your teammates. And once again, we can see Lord is coming out and he's enhanced at this point. So we decide to camp around and let them start the Lord and look for opportunity to go in. Petrify is having 20 something second cooldown, and look at how much damage that ultimate actually did to Valir right there. But obviously the team is not able to come in, so we're trying to clear it out as fast as possible. Looks like Alice is coming in. I decide to jump in, and they do get the Lord. So it was very clutch because it was a mistake by the Claude. He got really low. He was unable to smite it or retreat it, and used my petrify, and I do manage to get the Granger. I mean, Chang'e does get it in the end. Obviously Granger propped that Wind of Nature, but definitely not enough, and we do manage to get the kill. Eventually our team's gonna follow up and go forward. Obviously everyone's kind of low at this point, but with the core dead, there is no way they are able to have enough high ground to clear out the wave. And with only Rafaela left all behind, we're just gonna push out the Nexus right here, and that will be the end of the game. So GG, well played. It's a kind of intense game. Obviously there's a lot of back and forth. Very good job to our Valir right here, who played an excellent support to our public players. Even though they weren't the best, we did manage to make the best of the situation. And overall, what you want to take away from this is, well, for Yu Zhong, you can either build him in two main ways. As I mentioned earlier, you can always go for Assassin Emblem and Vengeance to give you maximum damage and going and somehow have sustainability in some situations where you need to actually survive a 1v5 or like huge gank. Otherwise, you can always go for the opposite, which will be this Fighter Emblem, and you can also take either Vengeance, or you can take Petrify if you do need to provide some crowd control, or you do want to follow up with your team with some big AoE chain CCs. As you can see from here, that's really crucial in locking down the Granger. As you can know, Granger is one of the strongest cores now in the current meta. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and currently when I'm recording this, I'm actually in the middle of IVGF 2021, which is the InterVarsity Games Festival in Singapore, and our teams from our schools and US will be facing off some of our competitors in tomorrow's semifinals and finals, and I do hope that they will perform a good fight for us, and I'm looking forward to it as well. So this is Chang, so I'll sign off. I'll see you guys next time.